as promised, it's time to review the NBA Finals. Game 1 is about 24 hours away, and I thought to myself, well, if I don't do my review today, I'm basically going to be doing catch-up. How the Finals is basically going to work for me is every day that I humanly can, I'm going to try and get a video out and a full instant reaction out for every single game. That is at least what I attempt to do. I don't know what's going on with the rest of my schedules and everything else and how it's going to construct in the end. But I'm going to do my absolute best to be able to do a full recording every single day of the games. So tomorrow I do have the time and I will be able to get a video out tomorrow for the game. But then the rest of the games, I'll kind of just have to go with it as it is, even if it's a little bit late, a little bit, a day late maybe. But we will see. The NBA Finals is here, and it's the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Who I think's going to win this series, I honestly don't know. Obviously, a lot of the NBA world was so confident in whoever came out of the West is going to go the way. But I just don't see myself writing off the New York Knicks with how hot they are as a basketball team. Obviously, the Knicks are coming off probably about 9 days break. They haven't played a game of basketball in what feels like 2 weeks. And whether that's a good thing for them or a bad thing for them, especially considering San Antonio just came off a 7-game series, who knows? It's going to be obviously an amazing series. I think the two teams match up really well against one another because the New York Knicks have size. As well as the Spurs. They have the size to match up against a Victor Wembanyama. And for a lot of teams actually miss that. And that is why Victor is so impactful of a player, is that there's some teams like my Golden State Warriors, for example, whose tallest player is 6'6", and they just don't have the height to compare to Victor. In between Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, this team has the height to compare to this San Antonio team. Obviously, we've seen the reports the other day that Mitchell Robinson got surgery done on his finger about 4 days ago. It must have been causing him quite a bit of discomfort in order to get this surgery done in the middle of this series. But the reports are that he's going to play, and he's going to play without a minutes restriction, without any restrictions of any sort. And Mitchell Robinson, I see as such a big X factor in this series because he is so dominant on the boards. And as we've seen with the first quarter of Game 7 against OKC, there is spurts where the Spurs aren't very good on rebounding the ball, especially defensively, because we know by the end of the game the Spurs dominated the offensive boards. But at the start of the game, OKC was controlling the glass at both ends. So if the New York Knicks can bring that even to some extent, and Mitchell Robinson is able to get your Mikal Bridges, your Jalen Brunsons, even your Miles McBrides, extra possessions and extra looks at the bucket, it is going to impact winning for them in a big way. As to the situation, because I think the biggest thing is the matchups for me, as to who New York shows to who on the defensive side of the ball. Because I think we see Karl Anthony Towns probably plays free safety. I don't think he will match up against Victor Wembanyama one-on-one. I think that they'll throw early looks of maybe OG Anunoby, because OG Anunoby has height, has the athleticism, has the defensive awareness. He has so many tools on that side of the ball that I think he can be like the Alex Caruso type and be able to guard Victor Wembanyama both on the perimeter and also push him off of his line so he can't get easy buckets down low. So I think OG goes to Vic first. Mikal Bridges, I imagine, goes to Stephon Castle. But then that leaves Jalen Brunson on like a De'Aaron Fox. And for me, if I'm De'Aaron Fox and I'm coming back, obviously De'Aaron's coming back from this injury, but Game 7 he looked really good. If I'm De'Aaron Fox, I'm attacking Jalen Brunson time and time again. So, and that's the one thing for me with this Spurs team is they have so many offensive talents and so many people that can attack the bucket I don't know who's going to go to who. They might actually. Jalen Brunson probably goes to Julian Champagnie. Yeah, this is interesting, man. Because the Spurs run such a weird lineup because they have basically 4 guards and then Victor Wembanyama. Because Devin Vassell, you cannot classify Devin Vassell as a power forward, and that's the position that he is playing at the moment. Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox. And then obviously you got Dylan Harper off the bench, but once Dylan Harper comes off the bench, hopefully you're sort of acclimatized and you know what your matchups are and who you want to go and who. Oh, there's so much to go into. Jalen Brunson, I think this is a series for Jalen Brunson if there is any. Because there is no, obviously, Stephon Castle did the best job that he could on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and for 6 out of the 7 games, he was perfect. I've never seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander struggle in so many games in a series in my entire life, let alone, his entire career. I think Stephon Castle is going to have different issues with Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson is so good on his feet. He's smaller. He's a lot quicker than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai is quick, but Jalen Brunson's one of the fastest players in the league, going side to side. And I just think this is a time to where Jalen Brunson can be that guy and put on his superhero cape and make a difference. Yeah. It's going to be such a good series. If I was really, really going to put a finger on it, I think if you've seen the short yesterday, I put the Knicks in 7 games. But now that I sort of think about it, I don't know if this is a series that does go all 7. Obviously, home court is going to be heavily favoured in this series because the travel, obviously I'm not from America, but I think the travel to San Antonio to New York is basically like crossing the country. So the travel is definitely going to be a big factor in the series, but I think teams get 3 days off in between games 2 and games 3. So it'll be interesting to see. A lot of fans are going to travel. New York fans, we have seen throughout the entirety of this playoff series that New York fans are willing to travel. It obviously helps when one of the series you go up to is Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is an hour away from New York. So they're basically in each other's backyard. But New York Knicks fans have been willing to travel. And if New York fans are willing to travel all the way to San Antonio, I mean, I just got to give them all the props in the world. There's nothing really else you can say about it. Mikal Bridges is another X factor for me in this series. He was obviously really, really good offensively in that conference finals run against Cleveland. Whether he's able to bring out the same offensive output, be having so many guards and so many small ball guys chasing him around and off his line, only time will tell. But I think Mikal Bridges is battle tested, and I think Mikal Bridges will be able to make an everlasting impact on this series as well. His defense is obviously, with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, for me, their defense is way more important than whatever they put on the offensive side of the ball, because the ball will find them on the offense. And I think we have seen that through the Knicks throughout this entire run, is that no matter how much you were struggling, or if you've come on the court for 3 minutes like your Landry Shamits and guys like that, the ball will find you if you're on the court, because that's how good their offense is at the moment. Karl-Anthony Towns has been seen as a bit of a hub recently, playing at the top of the key, finding the next man up, all of those sorts of things. I think, yeah, New York, I don't know, the pick for me just feels right. I have said to myself for this entire series or the entire playoffs, that I've watched the San Antonio Spurs. There's obviously still parts of San Antonio's game where the inexperience comes into play. Stephon Castle, I think it was a game it was their first round matchup series against the Blazers. Stephon Castle committed basically 3 silly fouls back to back to back and ended up on the bench with 5 minutes left. The Spurs luckily ended up going on to win this game. But Stefan Castle and guys like that, like, I have told myself this entire playoff run that the Spurs just aren't quite ready. Obviously, they're going to be dueling with OKC for the West for years and years and years to come. But I've just seen them through this entire playoff run as there is going to be a team that's able to beat them. They have proved me very wrong winning in OKC in Game 7. But I think they're another year away. I don't know. And I think is the writing on the wall for the New York Knicks. Because New York has been bad for my entire life. The last time they made the finals in 1999, and when I was born and brought onto this earth, it was like your Thomas Satoranskis at your point guard or your Captain Kirk Heinrichs and guys like that. Like, they went through such a rough patch for a very long time. Is it finally time for New York to celebrate and win a title? That's just the way I think about it. Like, there's so many narratives to it, but at the end of the day, whoever wins the series is the better basketball team. So, who knows? I mean, that's basically all I've got for you guys. It's just a bit of a review getting ready for tomorrow. I'm hyped. I mean, we've only got a few games of basketball left for the entire year until October, actually. Which sucks, don't get me wrong. And I'm kind of thinking on my feet as to things to do over the off-season. But for right now in this playoff run, I'm going to do the absolute best I can to get all the content out for this finals. Because it's the last little bit we're going to get before free agency in the off-season. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, like, subscribe. If you would like to, that's amazing. I would love for you guys to even consider that. Yeah, thank you so much. Bring on Game 1 tomorrow. I'll be here with a full analysis as soon as the game wraps up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.